So fiddleheads, they grow mainly in the east coast of Canada and the States. They're ferns, basically. They're young ferns. The ones we're specifically going after are the ostrich ferns, because they're the most edible ones. So they look like this. They like wetland, and so you can see there's some growing everywhere. This one too far gone, coming out. This one, it's a bit taller than I'd like. These ones are definitely too tall. And I saw some earlier, yeah, right here. Those are almost ready to furl out, so you don't want those. You want ones that are a bit more tightly bunched. Anyway, so I'm gonna walk around the property today and I'm gonna collect some fiddleheads. The Brumbywood farm is 10 acres. About 8.5, 9 acres are forest, all out there. Most of that forest is wetland. There's basically one main trail, and then on either side of that trail, it dips into a swamp. So if I walk along where that bowl is, where it bowls down into the water, that's probably where I'm gonna find fiddleheads. They do need light. So this area, obviously, you get a lot of light coming through here. The woods, not so much, so I'll probably find less in the woods, but I'm still gonna walk out there and see if I can find any. But for now, we're just gonna gather up what's around here. So we just disturb the brush just a little bit. So those two are furling out already, but we got, looks like 3 of them right here. So you just grab them at the base and you just pull. That didn't work as well as I thought it would. That one. Yeah, I'm gonna get a knife, I think. It's a very, very short season. They get maybe like a week before they get, oh, you can't see that from this far, but they get tall like this pretty quick. And that's no good. You want the shorter, the little sprouts. So I'm gonna shut the camera off. I'm gonna go and get a pruning knife, and then we'll keep picking. There's actually a lot of fiddleheads that are already popped up in this area. So we'll look around, see if there's some young ones. I'm hoping to get at least enough for a meal tonight. Okay, so there's some sort of brown skin on these, which you do want to clean off before you prepare them, but we'll take them with us while we're harvesting. It's not that big a deal. And quite soft. It's not like softer than a carrot, but stronger than a cucumber, I'd say. As you can see, I'm not even far from the house. That tall one actually looks pretty good. The other ones are a bit short and they're still quite tight, so I'll leave those. Show you guys quickly what not to pick, or at least what I'm not gonna take. All this here. So these, they're basically completely unfurled. These are just small ones. Right, they're barely curled up still. This one, you know, you're starting to actually see the individual leaves. These ones too, you can count leaves on the stalk, so those ones are too far gone. And then this one's like cutting it close. It's just starting to curl out. I'm gonna leave it though, I'm gonna leave these ones. Let those grow. We'll start making our way closer to the water and we'll start seeing more probably. There you go, that is textbook fiddlehead right there. It's like perfectly upright and everything. I'm making my way. I'm really trying to be careful where I step because, you know, it might not look like anything, but then underneath, there's more of them. So, I've already stepped on a couple and trampled them. They're everywhere. There's some that just haven't pushed through the needles yet. But as long as I'm careful and I kind of look for those bubbling mounds, hopefully I won't ruin too much. Oh, I cut into my finger there. Always cut towards yourself. So this is interesting. We've got, I'm not sure if it's ostrich ferns because it looks different, but we've got ferns that have already blossomed. I don't know if that's the right word, but they've already opened up. That's where we were picking before, over there. This is not even a 2-minute walk away. Here we go. We got some
So that's a different color paper than we saw before. And these are very juvenile anyways, but oh, and they're tougher. So these are much younger. So we just take the paper off. Yeah, you can see this is a lot lighter. Like it's almost white leaves. So this is like way too young for sure. I don't even know if this is the same plant. So we're not gonna bother with those. But you can see all these ferns that have already opened up here. We got some, that's a trillium right there. It's gonna be a red trillium, not the white trilliums, like the province of Ontario's national flower. The provincial flower for the province is a white trillium, which I've seen maybe 3 my whole life. The red trilliums are more common. There's no fiddleheads in this area. That's my hand in comparison. It's about the size of a standard hot dog. And that is a mushroom. I don't know anything about foraging mushrooms. So until I do, I'm not gonna even tell you anything about the mushrooms. A couple weeks ago, these would have been upright, these fronds. And that lets you know, okay, that was last year's ferns. A couple weeks ago, it was probably before the winter. In the fall, they'd die and they'd be upright. There's fiddleheads pushing out of pretty much each spot, and there's more over there. All these sort of looks like dreadlock bushels. All of those, there's going to be those fiddleheads sprouting, but they're too young still. Until that paper comes off really easily, and until they get a bit darker in color, they're not ready. So, and it still might be a different plant. I'm gonna check one last spot that I think might have some. Oh, they're really small. I'm not really gonna bother picking any of them, but oh, these are different. You see how they're more reddish at the bottom, and then they come up. Yeah, this is a different plant. Let's unfurl it and see if the leaves are the same. No, that's a different one, which is a pretty good indicator that all the ones that I've been seeing with the white paper on them, they're probably the same as that. This whole area is, I don't want to say a bust because I came out here and I learned some stuff. It's not what I'm looking for. I heard something snap a branch. We get deer in the backyard sometimes. That's why we can't grow corn, because they eat the shoots when they're really juvenile. Look at that. The water's actually flowing. That doesn't happen much. You can actually, oh, maybe the camera's not getting it, but the water is flowing that way. I mean, it is spring, so the water level is high. It's gone down a bit in the last 3 weeks, but. So this is the Moose Bridge. When we first moved here, this was just dammed up. It was a horse ranch before we bought it. And so the horses would cross this berm, but it was dammed up and there wasn't good water flow. So we built a bridge. The problem is, in the winter, a moose can't see the bridge, and moose are heavy, and they just keep going through the bridge. And this is like our 4th bridge. They just keep taking them out. We're getting down to the area. I'm not really seeing. Oh, I'm seeing those white paper fiddleheads. I should find out what type of fern that is. Yeah, so this whole area is all white cap ferns. But it was worth the walk. I haven't come out here in a while. I'm not gonna bother showing you guys how to cook fiddleheads because it's pretty simple. You steam them, rinse them off. If you want to steam them a bit easier, you soak them for a couple minutes, 5 to 15 minutes in water, in room temperature water, cold water. And then you just steam them for 10 to 15 minutes. And you can serve them with salt, butter, or plain. If you're thinking of trying this yourself, just do your research. If you've done this before, then, well, I don't need to tell you what to do. You're doing a better job than me. But if you're thinking of getting into foraging, do your research, know what you're going after, and know what not to get. And if you're not sure, don't take it. And share. Don't be greedy.
You gotta leave. It's not just leaving enough for the next person, it's leaving enough for next year. You have to keep that in mind, because if you pick a crop dry, there's a good chance it will not be there next year. You know, if we are wise and responsible, the woods will exist long after we don't. And that's the whole point, isn't it? Anyways, thanks for listening to my TED Talk, and we will see you next time.